Hello. Today we will be looking at a scenario where the red team from my WICSO existed in the real world. So, the red team encompasses most of the Arab Peninsula with just a little bit of Saudi Arabia that they don't own. They also own a lot of Iran and Iraq. But anyways, the first victim is going to be the rest of Saudi Arabia, so they push into this and quickly take. Wait, I should probably make it. Oh, wrong color. Anyways, they push in and quickly take this area over here, and then they quickly take the rest of it. As this area wasn't very valuable, but now they have more land for their slaves to dig rivers in. Anyways, in the tree they're going for an exit, so like that. With that, they've expanded, and the next victim is they're just going to go right through the troops. Don't even stop moving after invading. They instantly just walk into Jordan, so they go up here and then into all this over here. And it quickly falls over to them. So they fully annex Jordan. And now they decide where to go next. They could go after Iraq or Iran since they've already owned parts of them. They also own some of Pakistan and Afghanistan, but they'll go look over here to Israel and Palestine where they're currently fighting each other and not the entire world. Why not just invade both of them? They're distracted with each other. That just means you can walk into both of them. So they just walk right in here with bows and arrows and swords. Okay, let's just say that for this video alone, they have modern day technology and not swords and bows and arrows like they would have in WICSO. But yeah, they fully annex those two. And now they share a border with Egypt, which, if you have seen my WICSO, you would know that they hate. And they also hate the country, the yellow country that is down here as well. Another country they hate is Iran, which is why they're going to invade Iraq, because Iraq is weaker than Iran. So the troops are going to quickly walk into Iraq and quickly take all of this land down here. But then some of these countries are seeing what this is doing, and a few of them lost their land when it showed up as well. One of them being Iran, so they're going to join this war to get their land down here back. So they start sending troops in. This is going to distract the red team, who's going to have to pull back some of their troops over here. And with this, more of their troops are going to get pushed out. as they get pushed back to their border. Then the red team starts pushing back against Iran, and they even start pushing up into them. They will then push back up into Iraq. Over here, they will push the rest of Iran out of their land. With this, they're going to push right up here. The capital of Iran is somewhere around here. I don't know exactly where, but they take it. And with this, our country is going to join them, that being Azerbaijan, and that's because most Azerbaijans actually live in Iran rather than Azerbaijan, so they're going to join too. Because of that, they also join so they can stretch over here to their exclave. With this, the red team is going to be able to quickly push through all of Iraq, as Iraq eventually falls over. They then push into Iran, which they had split in half earlier. This half falls, and then this half over here will surrender. That there will be a treaty. In this treaty, they're going to take all of Iraq, and then over here, that's not that color. Azerbaijan is going to take all of this land here. So they are now hooked up with their exclave. As for the rest of Iran, the red team is going to take a good chunk out of them, taking all of this land here. As for the rest of it, it will become a puppet state, so let's make it a darker shade of, make a different shade of red. It can be that red. They also have Azerbaijan as an ally now. With this, their next target is going to be Syria, so they will declare war on Syria. And when they declare war on Syria, they are quickly followed by another person declaring war, that being Turkey. So with this, the two of them are going to both invade in. So Turkey takes this land up here, and the red team will push into all this land over here. Eventually the two will meet up. as they capture all of Syria. This they will fly up Syria, as Turkey will take this land over here, and the rest will go to the red team. With this, with this, they gain Turkey as an ally, and this is looking very scary, as the Middle East is basically united between the red team, which has enslaved basically everyone that they've captured, which is making a lot of these other countries in the world hate them. But anyways, the next target will be right here, and that's not color. Right here, and that was easy. Yeah, they stood no chance. While this was happening, Turkey invaded Cyprus again and annexed all of it. Rest in peace, Cyprus. And the next country on the red team's list is a country that they hate because they hate it and they hate the WICSO version, and that is Egypt right here. They're going to start invading Egypt. Push in over here. Egypt will be a hard country to fight because it's pretty strong in real life. And they'll quickly start pushing back. And Egypt is actually going to get joined by a few of these other countries over here who don't want the red team coming in, so a bunch of these countries along here are going to join. And now the red team might have some trouble, but over here, in the small bit over here, they will push out and they will quickly push through all of Somalia, which, well, is not going to last very long. Push down, and even start pushing into Ethiopia a bit, but not much right now because they're focused on kicking Somalia out. They also make a landing over here in Eritrea and Djibouti. Djibouti falls, and Eritrea starts falling a lot. They push more into Ethiopia. Somalia will surrender. With this, they focus on knocking out Eritrea, which will fall next. Then they start pushing into Ethiopia. However, over here, they're going to get pushed out of Egypt, which is then going to start pushing into them. And a lot of this land they just recently acquired, so people there are pretty happy to see them. However, the red team starts pushing up into Sudan. With this, they're going to get a new ally, that being South Sudan. However, South Sudan will then instantly get pushed into by Sudan and Ethiopia over here because they don't really stand that much of a chance. However, this does force Egypt to get pushed back against, and they push back Egypt to the border. They even start pushing up over here as they push further into Sudan, now meet up with Egypt over here, and they push further into Ethiopia. South Sudan will eventually fall. However, Ethiopia things are not going well for them, as they just get completely destroyed by the red team. They're going to send some people down to Kenya and ask them to join, but Kenya sees what's happening and is like, yeah, we'll pass. And with that, Ethiopia will fall. The red team will then push back into Egypt as they push over to the Suez Canal, taking all of the Sinai Peninsula. They'll then push up over here, pushing into Egypt from down here. Eventually they will cross Suez Canal, and they will start taking all of this coastline. Oh, that's not what they do. They'll take a lot of this coastline over here. They will then push into Libya a bit. And eventually, they will push more into Egypt, until eventually Egypt falls. With this, Sudan and Libya will agree to peace. Now we need to drop a peace treaty, so let's undo all this here. So anyways, in this treaty, the red team is going to take a good chunk out of Egypt, as they take all of this from them along here. Over down here, they're going to take all of Somalia, along with all of Djibouti and Eritrea. They will then take this land over here from Ethiopia. Making them look like this. And the rest of Ethiopia will become a puppet. So let's go back and get this color. However, one country did get something good. Oh, let me just finish this. Actually, one country is going to get something good of the losing side will actually get something, as they're going to get most of uh, South Sudan back, as they take all of this along here back. The rest of this will go over to the uh, Ethiopian puppet. They also will lose a tiny bit of land up here, however. They'll also be going over to Ethiopia. And South Sudan, not South Sudan, get the rest of South Sudan. And with that, this is where we're going to end the episode. So, thank you for watching. And I'm actually recording this before the episode 10 of my WICSO, but I'll probably be releasing episode 10 of my WICSO before this. So, if you're not seeing that yet, then please go watch that. And goodbye.